Welcome to the 3 Gig Sports Podcast, where we are never wrong, but sometimes misinformed. I'm sitting alongside Jimmer and Rio today, and of course this is Danny G. We've got a little bit of a mid-year review in the NFL. We're going to talk through who's looking like the MVP and those different player awards, along with kind of how good some of our predictions were for the year. We nailed some.
Oh, yeah.
And, we might have been misinformed on a couple. But let's see where things lie. But as usual, Jimmer, there's a lot going on out there, so let's fill everybody in.
Well, first thing that we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and announce our first giveaway, and that was 2 tickets to the North Iowa Fights at the Olson Building. And that lucky winner is one Brittany Kingery. We did message her on Facebook, and we'll see if she gets back to us. Congratulations.
Congrats, Brittany. Big deal. Thank you for sharing.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you for following the page and all that fun stuff. I actually wanted to bring one thing up real quick. Since we brought up Mike and the North Iowa Fights, he actually won an award there in Mason City. And I don't know if you guys saw this or not, but this is a pretty big deal. So shout out to Mike. He had a special invite the other night. And basically, I want to try to summarize good here. But he received an award for bringing in tourism with his MMA shows. And so his wife kept it a secret. And so he didn't even know what he was walking into.
That's awesome.
And he was given an award. So that's pretty cool. Shout out to Mike.
Yeah, pretty cool.
Shout out to Mike.
Big time.
Congrats, bro. All right, we're going to kick her off. Browns are working with Odell Beckham Jr.'s reps to negotiate an agreement on terms in which they would release the wide receiver, the team came out and said. And then the only thing that's really holding this up, gentlemen, is evidently they're trying to negotiate a part where if he makes it through waivers after they release him, that they wouldn't be on the hook for a nice chunk of money. That's the only thing that's holding it back. So this is going to happen. Just don't know.
Right, the specifics of it all yet. Crazy. All right.
We were not misinformed earlier this season, right?
Yeah.
Did we
we
talk about we said that we were guessing that it would be trade deadline
eventually, but
but we were guessing trade deadline.
Yeah,
for
but
whatever reason the Browns
saw
fucked
him
that up.
getting cut.
Yeah.
But absolutely, we called that being not working out.
And it would sting the Browns.
Oh,
We basically nailed this one, gentlemen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We said they would probably, even if they started off hot, but as soon as they show a little bit of adversity, it would this exact scenario would happen, except for we didn't think it would be just giving him up for free.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, so they agreed to basically end the last 2 years of his contract. So wherever he gets picked up, he's just owed that $7.25 million for the rest of the season. So
unless he clears waivers, and then they would be on the hook for that.
Yep.
So that being said, 2 questions: where does he land, and where would you like to see him go? Which could be either the same answer or they could be completely different.
We talked about Green Bay, and I think if he's going to go play somewhere, it's going to be one of 2 spots. He's going to be either the man, right? The main man. So maybe something like a Raiders or something like that. He's going to be the best guy out there besides Waller, but like wide receiver core wise.
Oh, yeah.
Something like that.
A guy with a quarterback. See, that's the one.
A quarterback that'll throw him the ball.
That has no problem winning him the ball.
Well, look at this too. He knows the guy will target one person.
Mm-hmm.
Darren Waller,
No
15
shit.
targets in one game or whatever it was. So he'll throw the ball to you, right? So either something like that. Either he wants to be the man, or I say someone like if you're a GM, you go, like a Packers. We talked about it. My quarterback can calm him down and be like, like. I'm going to check you, buddy, no matter what your feelings look like.
Right.
However, I do feel like as a GM, I mean, yes, he's talented, but do you pull the trigger if you're on a winning team and you want to pull that in? He's shown with Cleveland, who's supposed to be good and had high aspirations, right, to start the year that we're going to be a good football team. Had some wins, right, and looking like they were going to be, good and tough. Destroy that locker room. But then you've also saw it with the Giants, who were not a good team, and he also destroyed that locker room. So I'm just saying it's going to be a roll of the dice either way as a GM, and that's a hard call.
So which one do you see picking him up off the 32 off of the 31 teams if he doesn't make it through waivers?
I would go Raiders because there's a need at wide receiver, and they're doing well, so why not go and pick up a talent like that? Because it automatically upgrades your wide receiving core. Plus, I mean, shoot, who saw you here right now? And, obviously the Ruggs situation, so you do need a wide receiver anyways. And then I could see Green Bay get a number 2 besides Devante, get a quarterback that can manage his ego. So that's kind of where I see it going myself.
Yeah, definitely. So I'll start with the place I'd love to see him go. I'd love to see him go to the Raiders, so I'm on board with that. I think that would be awesome. Plus, it's going to add some more intrigue there and really push Kansas City out of the playoffs, like we said.
They're not afraid of controversy either.
Not at all.
Yeah.
And I mean, to be fair, he hasn't caused a bunch of controversy, even though he has basically gotten screwed over in Cleveland. Mm-hmm. They haven't done anything for him there. So, like you actually mentioned that in the last podcast, he's done better with that.
Yes.
Even though he's been on the short end of the stick. The two that intrigue me are the Rams. I don't know if it would actually happen, but I think he wants to go to a hot spot. I don't think he's going to go somewhere in the Midwest if he has his choice. I think he's going to want to go to a place where he can go do shit. He's a celebrity. He loves that attention. So the Rams intrigue me for that. But the one thing I have in the back of my mind, because we know athletes do this, is I know New Orleans, and I've brought this up a few times, is on Russ's list to potentially go after this season. So if him and Odell do a little conversing.
He's from New Orleans, too, by the way. I did not know that.
Odell is?
Oh, yes.
Oh, that's even more interesting then. Okay. Where I was going, besides even that, was if him and Russ have a little convo, Russ is like, hey, here's the deal for next year. So if you want to go ahead and hop over there, that would be.
Right. But the quarterback situation makes me think no on that one.
For this year. But this year, what do you think? This year's a wash? For his stats.
Well, look at the quarterback who's throwing to him. Does he really want to go there? Now, I can see him sitting the entire year and going, say Russ, wants to go there and then he goes.
Right.
But I don't know if he wants to go there this year, because the quarterback situation is not going to be good.
Yeah, I get where you're going there.
Yeah, I get. I do.
Further from now going
I do
forward.
agree with you. Yep. But even going down there, he would be the instant number 1. He would be targeted right out of the gate, and they're still competing. I mean, yes, we don't think they're going to compete much longer after Jameis is gone, but even if they don't go Russ, okay, let's say they don't go Russ, Jameis has proven in the past he has no problem just throwing the ball to whoever the fuck downfield.
Right, Jameis is out for the year,
forcing it. I know, I get that.
Yep.
I'm saying not for this year necessarily.
Gotcha.
He would go there, sign that. And he'd be the clear-cut number 1. So what I mean by that is whoever's back there, whether it's Taysom Hill or shitty-ass Trevor Siemian, they're going to gun for him, especially Trevor Siemian, who's just trying to make sure he's keeping – it's going to be either him or Alvin Kamara catching that ball.
Right.
And at least in my mind.
Right.
Yeah.
That being said, mine most intriguing. It took me a minute. Of course, I love the Rams. They have so much going on there, so many personalities. I mean, it could either – all meld together and do glorious things, or it could become a fucking shit pot quick, right?
Yep.
Melt down. The other one is the Raiders. I'm on board with you guys. I think that Derek Carr would have no problem winging the ball to him. He needs a receiver that can do that, and that will go up and get it. And Odell needs a guy that is not afraid to do that. I do disagree with Chris on the him being a locker room problem. He did have some of that, and it's everything that came out today about this is that evidently in New York it wasn't even as bad as what it looked like. He had a clash with the coaches. Now, I'm not saying that's not the same. I'm not saying that's not the same thing, okay? But as far as the locker room, they have not found a guy that does not want to play with him, except for evidently Baker Mayfield. He had guys come to his aid today in press conferences. John Johnson came to him. That's a defensive player, so not even wide receiver room.
He's the one that just came over from the Rams. Right? Yeah. Yep.
And then Bitonio, their offensive lineman. They all said that.
Though, like, how can you not look at the team and be like, "Hey, get on board. We're trying to frickin' win games, right?"
I'm not saying I'm fully against what you're saying. I would find it as a problem. I mean, I think Cleveland shit the bed by not trading him and getting something out of it.
Absolutely.
So, but they're doing the best thing for the team by doing something right now. They're not going to let this in their own mind fester, especially with a in his feelings type of quarterback like this guy, like Baker, right?
Yep.
My point is, though, is that I've seen this many teammates that aren't even his best friends, that barely even know him, that have said they would more than love for him to come back. They know that there's some other underlining. Now, that could also be a direct shot at Baker also.
Mm-hmm.
You know, maybe they don't believe in Baker. Maybe they believe in, you know what, we'll roll our dice with Case motherfucking Keenum, who will just run straight the offense and he'll wing it downfield.
Well, I mean, it's still a locker room problem, even if it's just between him and Baker.
Well, I just mean that I just mean overall the players.
Yeah.
Not just one player, because you don't get along with everybody you work with, right? But it doesn't mean you're exactly a bad worker or that 90+%
He's
don't
a great
appreciate
player,
you.
Absolutely.
No, I mean just like 90% of the people would not mind working with you, for instance.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
there's
he
gonna be
makes that team better.
There's gonna be
100%.
There's gonna be 10%. They, by the sounds of it, they enjoy his company, not just not about just wins and losses. That's how I took those press conferences today.
Mm-hmm.
But that being said, don't know where he's gonna end up. It's gonna be intriguing to see where he does. Because
let me throw one more in. I saw this come across today. I imagine you did too. But I want to say it's the GM for San Francisco though. They said he wouldn't be off the table. To go to San Francisco too. Now, quarterback situation isn't as great there. Garoppolo's not, exactly a stud. But that's a Cali team.
that being said, I don't know if I would enjoy that one. And the reason why is Garoppolo's not that type of guy to me. Number one.
Yep.
Number two, if they go to trade, then now you're getting that quarterback in a young wide receiver in a young quarterback's ear. You know what I'm saying? Even if you have Debo, even if you have Brandon Ayuk, and then George Kittle, you're still going to have that, I think, a little bit. I think he did excellent with the Browns when it comes to like how he changed and matured, though, compared to where he was. I mean, he didn't come out and throw a temper tantrum anywhere else. Yes, his dad did, and probably he provoked his dad to do it too. Maybe. I have no idea.
Yeah.
But
Well, the difference, I think, is
he should have pressed for a trade sooner, is what he should have done.
What is the Colts record? Kind of looking at
Four
this,
and
That's an intriguing one,
that
too.
I was just
4
looking.
and 5.
4 and 5.
They're kind of not out of it. They're right there. Plus, with Tennessee getting Derrick Henry banged up,
T.Y.'s never.
T.Y.'s gotten hurt. Paris Campbell's gotten hurt. You're basically down to Michael Pittman. You're not playing horrible. You're kind of right there. Why not swing the fences and grab them off this?
I agree.
Going through waivers.
I agree with that's the reason why I think this is intriguing. There's so many teams, and I like that Colts one, especially Carson Wentz getting another weapon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Carson Wentz has shown, I mean, when he can stay on the field, he's been throwing the ball deep downfield and pushing it.
He's been damn good. I think he's thrown, 5 or less interceptions this year already? Maybe 3 or 4.
And they're rolling. Like, don't get me wrong, they lost to Tennessee in a close game.
Yeah.
But other than that, they've been playing great.
Yeah, that defense is a little suspect, but, why not?
Yeah. Wait,
Right.
picture. I want to touch on one more thing though, like just to address what you guys were talking about with the locker room problems. If you're if you're a Pro Bowl player and you're on a team that you're winning some ball games, but you're averaging 3-ish targets a game, no matter who you are, take the name out of it. Aren't you pissed even if you are winning some games because you're not part of it? Aren't you like, this is a waste? Like, why am I here?
You get a little bit, but then we knew this was going to happen once they start losing. And then those targets are going down. And then on top of that stat I gave you guys, Baker Mayfield misses him by a mile. Over a quarter of the time that he throws to him. So wouldn't you be frustrated you're out there running routes? So the very few targets you do get
aren't even close.
Exactly. So if you get 4 targets a game, one of them isn't even close.
Yeah,
bare minimum.
That's where I'm going, right? Is in New York when he blew up, he was younger too, right? We got to give him credit for that.
Yep.
But when he was blowing up, he was the guy. He was all over SportsCenter. He was obviously a fucking stud, whatever, all of that. And he's blowing up because they weren't winning, right?
Yep.
And now he went to a totally different situation where he's never getting the fucking ball. Quarterback's not great. You're winning some ball games. You're not a great team, but you're winning ball games. But it's not anything to do with you. I think he's improved a lot in that aspect. Is my point. I think I'd be a little more pissed than he showed he was.
I think we've kind of talked about this. I can't remember if on air, but definitely off. Like his growing up, like I said, there's not been a big blowout like there has been when he was younger and stuff. He was kicking the net and whatnot.
Headbutting it? Didn't he headbutt it or something?
Yeah. And so Yeah, the way he's handled it to the outside of the world has been much better than in the past.
Yeah.
Yep.
That it's like I said, it's gonna be intriguing as shit, no matter where he goes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there's several teams that could definitely use his services, and I don't know, it's gonna be a roll of the dice.
So this could be the time that he is
Cowboys, baby.
He's going. That was in like the top 10 of the ones I seen.
Yeah,
That
because
could.
down it was like Miami. God, I wish I would have
Yeah.
paid more attention. There was a bunch of
Yep.
just
But
trash teams.
regardless, he for the first time, so he was traded to Cleveland, and that was under a different regime, by the way. I don't know if you guys remember that. This was not under this head coach. It was not under this GM. None of that. Okay. So this will be the first time that a team is going to pick him up that wants him. It's going to most likely be a pass happy team, right? Because that's what the Giants were too. That's the reason why he also blew up, because they were a pass heavy team with a pocket passer, and that's what they did.
Yep.
Now the other good note for him is that even if he goes through waivers, that means he literally gets to pick his spot, which he hasn't done except for signing the extension with the
Right.
Giants.
Yeah, got to make it through first, but yeah.
Yep, I don't think he's gonna make it through.
I don't think so either. Somebody grabs him.
Somebody grabs him, so you don't even have the conversation. But all right, let's get moving here. But we did get a message back from old Brittany there. She looks pretty jacked about the tickets.
Yeah.
Boom boom. Georgia has suspended starting linebacker Adam Anderson, who has been accused of rape by a 21-year-old woman.
Yeah, I saw this come out, and they hadn't suspended him yet. So to see them finally make a move on that, until he's, I give benefit of the doubt until you're presented in court and whatnot. If it is true, prove.
Yep. Especially nowadays, right?
Yeah, nowadays it seems like
everyone goes for an opportunity.
Exactly. Is in anything. So,
which is too bad that we even have to think of that, right?
Exactly. We've seen, unfortunately, both sides of it where it's been true, and that's been unfortunate, as well as people have been accused for stuff that is not true. And like Sean Oakman, right? He had some other stuff going on, but he got accused, ruined his NFL career.
Came back innocent, right?
On that one. He had a couple other things going on as well, but on the
yeah.
sexual charges, I believe they were dropped. And
I think if that's the same person
lied.
I'm thinking of, I think it's the same person that
The Baylor
actually
kid.
yeah.
Yes.
And she came out and finally admitted that he didn't.
So ruined his NFL career. So kind of going to stay out of this one a little bit if it's true. Absolutely disgusting and should be banned and kicked off the team and whatnot. But just kind of going to stay out until it full process.
His attorney did ask for people to just wait until all the truth comes to light.
Yep.
So, I'm going to echo your same sentiment there, and that is, I hope it's not true, and then if it is, Jesus, more than shame on you,
more than shame on you.
Yeah,
you should know better.
Yeah,
it's 2021, people. We should know better than that.
Yeah, to even put yourself in a compromising position.
Right.
How many times do you have to see that?
And I'm not just saying that because they're, have the potential to be a millionaire and make money in the NFL. Nobody should be doing this kind of stuff. But why do we still hear athletes doing this kind of crap?
Yeah.
And like I said, not trying to judge him or make anything.
Because we don't know 100%.
Right.
Yep.
But if you're an athlete and to put yourself in any kind of situation like that, why would you? And but
on a smaller scale, okay. It was last night. Was it Georgia State?
And hey, I hit that. They did not cover though. I told you it might be a tough game.
No.
I was scared of them rushing.
Yeah,
their rushing attack.
There was a play. I'm pretty sure it was that game. There's only 2 games on last night.
Yep.
It was them and Morgan State and some other shit, right? So I can't remember if it was the same. I can't remember if it was the same game, right? But one of the players, and this was even at the 1. This dude runs back, punt return, kick return, something like that. He springs loose, gets there. He's 3 yards away and flings the ball backwards. I know this is on a much smaller scale than what we were just talking about, but at what point do you fucking learn? How many people need to do the same damn thing for you to realize why wouldn't you ever just reach across the line, right? Instead of what is this shit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
I wouldn't let the ball go because I'd be that excited to fucking why is that just a I don't get that. But I was just thinking about that. It was like in the Friday bloopers on ESPN.
If Mike Evans had done that, he wouldn't have given away Tom Brady's 600 touchdown ball. So
that's right. But then the guy want to get hosed.
Yeah, he got hosed.
He should never.
Yeah, these athletes got to pay attention. We got to teach them some history or something. Like, pay attention.
Yeah,
Don't
pay
make the
attention.
same
Right.
mistakes people had before.
Right, or even compromising situations, right?
Yeah.
You got, millions of dollars laying ahead of you, especially and with these nil deals, you make all kinds of money through college. So
Yeah, just fucking don't party. At this point, do not party. There's plenty of time after you retire after a 10, 15-year career that you can. It's the same thing with pot before it was half legal or whatever in the league. Just
keep your circle small and
Yep.
chill with your real people, and
Yep.
then figure it out as you go, man. You
Yep.
got to avoid that stuff.
absolutely. Major allegations of racism and misogyny.
Misogyny. Sorry.
Misogyny. There we go.
Yep.
I'm usually a lot better than that. Against Phoenix Suns owner Robert Sarver during his 17-year tenure have come out after an ESPN investigation. The NBA is starting an investigation into this matter.
Oh yeah, losing his team, kind of like the Clippers guy.
Yeah, but there was I don't know if there is going to be recordings. There was literally recordings of that Donald Sterling though.
Right, there's something. There's
There-
something going to be there
yeah.
if this all comes out. There's more behind the scenes. So yeah, they'll force him to sell.
Earl Watson was the head coach when a lot of this stuff came. So I want to make two comments. First off, number one is the current coach, who is also a black guy. He said he literally came there. God, Williams, his last name's Williams. That's the head coach. I can't remember his name
I
off the
can't
top of my
remember either.
head. Damn good guy. He was the one that was down with the New Orleans Pelicans before. So I don't know if that helps spring anything. But either way, he said, I'm going to wait until the NBA investigation comes out because Monty Williams. There we go.
Yep.
He said, I'm waiting till the NBA investigation comes out because that was part of the reason I came here was the ownership. He's like, I haven't had a problem yet. I'm not saying it didn't happen. I'm just saying I'm not going to pass it until I see something more than just an ESPN thing.
Right.
The second thing is that I read a little disgusting part of this, and that was Earl Watson said in one of their conversations, he was just slinging the N-word around like it was no big deal. Like, as in, he was saying, well, God damn it, Draymond. He's like, because he starts saying the N-word and this, that, and the other, and Earl's like, what the hell are you doing? He's like, well, why can Draymond go up and down the court saying the N-word this, N-word that, whenever? He's like, I can say it too. What's wrong with that? If he can do it. And he kept doing it. He kept saying, he's like, you can't say that. He's like, I can as long as Draymond can do it. Now, evidently, like I said, that is from one coach, and there could have been a different riff, and I don't know. We don't know the facts yet, but.
Okay, that's you don't say it, right? We all know that's just a word you don't say.
No.
But that's way, it probably doesn't change anything. But in my opinion, that's way different context than if he's calling somebody that in a legitimately racist way, right? It's totally different. Like, you can't say it, but that's way different than old boy from the Clippers did, right?
Yeah. And like I said, and that even being said, if that's exactly how that exchange went, still a little shitty of a situation in my mind, just for the simple fact that you shouldn't feel comfortable dropping that word. Like, you should feel uncomfortable hearing that word or
totally
saying,
agree. Yeah.
unless it's in a comedy, and I'm referring to the movie.
Or a rap song.
Yeah. But I was gonna say, or in the movie Life, because that's one of my favorite comedies of all time. God damn. Shout out to my boy Jamar. Me and him, big fans of that. My wife too. So
is anybody gonna ask the question, first of all these owners are pretty old, very wealthy.
Mm-hmm.
At what point do people just start to pick, that guy doesn't need to be an owner anymore, so I'm going to go find something? Because every single one of them has some shit like this. Every fucking one of them.
Hold on. Everybody in the world has fucking something.
Yeah.
It may not be racist. It may not be sexist. It might not be this, but you have something.
Yep.
In this fact where everything we just full bore go in. I'm not saying this isn't true. It could very well, evidently.
And maybe there's worse shit, right, for this guy. We don't know anything.
No, evidently. And by the sounds of it, I read the article halfway through. There's plenty of stuff, but you don't know ESPN also must have a thing against Arizona teams because I think they're the ones that crucified the Arizona men's basketball team, right? I'm almost certain of it. In fact,
Yeah, I think
they
so.
they
I think
even
so.
banned ESPN from going to their
I think
after
so.
their post press conferences. So, it's a shitty situation.
Yeah,
But
it's just
if you go through everyone's history,
nobody's gonna
find-
have anything. Like
Yeah.
everybody's gonna be canceled, man. The whole
Right.
Stones glass house, the whole deal.
Yeah,
Like, I don't know.
yeah, true that. For the last 10 years, public universities in the FBS conferences have paid more than $533.6 million in dead money to assistant/head coaches in football, men's basketball, and women's basketball.
Yeah, I saw that. Texas guilty. I mean, man, they paid Tom Herman to pay him out a bunch.
Wouldn't there be two of
And
them, though?
Strong as well.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. That's what I was thinking of.
I want to say they said something that was a crazy number.
Oh, by the way, real quick, that is not including this year's guys. That was as of January of this year. So that's not including the one that's about to happen in Ed Orgeron. That's not about to happen with the guys that have been walked out. The one that is discluded is the Washington State coach that left.
Okay, yeah.
But he's saying that he's going to go back and sue regardless.
Dude, that's
Over-
so much money.
Over $500 million just because you let someone go. You wouldn't even let them ride out their contract and get something out of it.
Yeah. That's crazy. We just move on and pay millions of dollars out.
Yeah.
Now, in college, is that because you want to get somebody new in so they can start recruiting based on their own resume? But you still have to pay
combo
out,
that,
right?
but
That's
not.
a big part of
but
it.
they don't want to miss out. I think a lot of it is that they don't want to miss out on that next bright coach. So
Yeah.
they want that first shot of trying to get them in. The previous coach wasn't winning enough because we're a win now culture. You don't let a program build anymore. They need to show. Like, I hope you guys don't do the same thing with Sark after.
He's
Let's-
gonna ball out.
What I'm saying is, if they have, let's say, an 8-4 season next year, which is still an increase, right? Hopefully, we don't see them like tossing the towel. Let the program build itself and feed
Right.
off of itself. That's what I'm getting at.
Yeah, and the thing about Texas, just focusing on that, they do it because, unfortunately, as a fan base and as just, it seems like alums and stuff like that, they're a win now mentality. So whoever comes in we got to win now. So I'm hoping it's changing, and it seems like it kind of has with Sark. It seems like they're kind of, I think we're 4-4 or something like that. We're not good, and like I said, I predicted it too. It sounds like they're kind of waiting him out. Like in Tom and Strong, Tom Herman, those coaches, it seemed like they were a win now kind of the deal. Granted, they had a quarterback, 100%, and Sam, right?
Yep.
And so I kind of understand it, but at the same time, the pressure to win right away at Texas is so big, and I understand some of that. I did see some of these numbers, teams leading the way in dead money. Auburn sitting at number 1, $31.2 million. Nebraska, $25.8 million. Texas at 3 with $21.5 million. Ole Miss, $20.4 million, and Kansas, $20 million.
So that must be those are the ones you're saying. That's what the cost of those each individual universities to a coach, right?
That's what they have.
So
Yeah.
that would include what was one of those is Hugh Freeze. That's you said Ole Miss is up there.
Yep.
Right.
Ole Miss.
Yeah, so one of those is Hugh Freeze with it, and most of these are stemming from recruiting violations of some kind, right? That's what his was. It was something along those lines.
Kansas is probably all Les Miles, right?
That's all Les Miles. That's exactly what I was about to say. That's all Les Miles right there.
Yeah, and then Nebraska is.
I would have had to worry about it because we're okay with mediocre, and we'll just sign him to a 20-year contract and keep him for
yeah,
the 20
lifetime
years.
contract
Yeah,
right there.
that's coming up next.
3rd and 15. Are you passing the ball?
Hell no, bro.
No.
Hell no.
Let's
gotta run for
trick them,
5,
and we're going to
baby.
run for 5.
Let's go.
Boom. The next one we got up, here's a big one. Aaron Rodgers said he did not lie about his vax status and has followed almost all protocols for unvaccinated, and I'm throwing quotes right now, unvaccinated players. He also explained his reasons for not getting one of the regular COVID-19 vaccines, also in quotes, before his season citing the Joe Rogan remedy.
Yeah, if you guys haven't, those of you listening, if you guys haven't heard that Pat McAfee interview, it's really good. I'm becoming more of an Aaron Rodgers fan, which sucks because I hate the Packers.
Yeah. Yep.
But we've been pretty light touch on the whole vaccine thing and stuff like that. But it's really good to see people coming out and being honest about shit, because I feel like a lot of these guys are feeling like they have to just shut their mouth and be like, not say anything, or just go with the flow and say you got to get vaccinated and blah, blah, blah. But I think it was huge that he came on and actually talked about it, was just open. He's like, listen, if I'm going to get canceled, then I'm going to at least get this shit out and tell everybody what's going on first. He's done everything so outside of before now, when vaccine apparently is the only remedy, he's done everything outside of that to stay healthy. And he said he feels great. He's 2 days in, right, to having COVID. He says he feels great and he's going to be good to go. And he thinks he'll be better off once he gets through this cycle of different treatments that he's doing too. So I think more people need to come out and be honest about that shit. That way we can get back to normal and not act like vaccine is the only thing that's going to save your life or prevent anything, shit like that.
And what was the other part that he was saying, though? He mentioned the shit-ass feeling. That's what it was. That's what his quote was. He said, I think it's 100% wrong that people keep going out and making other people feel bad about not being vaccinated, like they know what's best for each individual person's body. He said, and then if you don't go with the flow or with the roll of it, you are deemed a selfish person, or what's the other word that is always dropped now, or the other line? Not selfish. It was selfish. Either way, basically saying that you're selfish and whatever, this, that, and the other. He's like, when has it ever been selfish to worry about what goes into your body and determining what's best for your body? He's like, that. This whole thing is wrong.
Yeah. And everybody needs to pay attention right now, too. So he came out today and was honest about that. Up until this last weekend, I guess, the last weekend that he played, all of the big networks, ESPN, Fox, all of them have blown him, okay, because he's one of the best quarterbacks in the league and all of that. I promise you, after this comes out, they're going to start shitting on him from here on out because he's honest about that. I would put the house on it.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, that's, I'm a choice guy, and I hate to kind of get into talk all this, but, you got to pay attention now, right? One of the biggest sports persons in the sports world, NFL today, is going through this. But I'm a choice person. Everybody has a choice to put whatever they want in their body, so shouldn't be shamed for doing this or doing that. I think it's what's made America one of the greatest nations, the greatest nation in the world, is the choice. That's what military servicemen have been fighting over, right, since we started fighting other countries, right? And the choice to have whatever, if you want say a vaccine or not. So it's almost a disservice to those guys who have given their lives for what we have today. And just kind of crazy, and yeah, I'm with you. I think people need to wake up and look at it a little different, because you can't tell me, I can't be convinced they don't have a cure for cancer, because it makes too much money to not have it.
Right.
So for them to come out with a cure-all vaccine that you have to take in record time just doesn't seem right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you get discredited if you say things against it, right? So he used in that interview, he talked about technically the biggest study in the world on the vaccine, which was in Israel, right? What was it, the number? 2-point-some-odd million people, right?
Yep.
And they showed the difference between the vaccine versus people that had COVID before, and people that had COVID before had a better immune response to it, right?
Yeah.
But that kind of shit gets discredited because there's only one thing you can focus on, which is bullshit. I'm giving you evidence. This is the biggest study in the world on this, and you're saying no? Like, no. We can't. We got to pay attention to this stuff, guys.
It doesn't follow an agenda. That's why. Number one. But number two, regardless, like we said, we're all pro your choice, bare minimum. I don't bust up on anyone that does get it or anyone that doesn't get it.
Who cares?
That is literally your
choice.
I've quite literally, before the COVID pandemic, I've quite literally never went up to anybody and asked them, can I see your immunization card before I hang out with you? because I don't care. I have my immunizations, and I don't. Isn't that what they're supposed to do? Like, I don't care if that's your choice. If you don't get it, I'm covered, right?
Right.
So if you feel that way, then do your thing. If you have another way that has been studied onto, that's the other part of all this is that when we only look at one half of the information, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's all that's presented.
Yeah, it just seems like you're being, and it is really discrimination against people if you don't get the vaccine.
It is.
You see all these the mandate that's going in place officially January 4th, I believe is what they said.
I've seen that.
It's discrimination against people who don't have the shot because you test every week, and they don't make the people who got the vaccine do it, even though it's been proven they can spread, they can catch.
And
COVID,
and they can still die from it.
And they can still die from it. And so
it's just a way to put pressure on you to go do it because it's an inconvenience for you to go get tested every week.
It is. And, unfortunately, it's just sucky that this world, that's what it's come to. And that, we're losing one of the best foundations we have. What makes America great is the ability to have a choice in your life and have control.
Absolutely.
100%. So bottom line is more people need to take Rodgers' lead, and hopefully he makes them more comfortable doing it because he is not the only one that feels that way.
Right.
But people need to hear that.
They do.
People
need to
hear
see
what other people are actually thinking.
And this is what
because if he wasn't Aaron Rodgers, if this was a third string quarterback, boom, cut out of the league, pushed to the side, nobody listened.
Yep.
So this is an awesome deal for him to come out and do this. So if you're on the fence, if you're anything, look into this a little more and pay attention.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Do some research. There's nothing wrong, and that's the whole point of everything is to do research on it.
And make your choice.
And make your choice based on that. And there's
don't
nothing
feel
wrong
the pressure. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people I think are just pressured into.
Just like Kyrie was doing it, I don't think he knows how to. That he knows how to have the conversation about it or how to present it, like A-Rod did, because he did, and then he called out the cancel culture that we are in. To just point blank be like, hey, this is what it is. So we're in a era that if you don't like something, we're just gonna cancel you. You don't like what someone says. Instead of actually just like, hey, we're just pointing out something, even if you're not insulting them, you're just pointing out something,
Yeah.
Yep.
We will move on from that. I think we got nice and warm enough.
Yeah, we could go down that rabbit hole, but that was we had to talk about that. So
we did. Philadelphia 76ers fined Ben Simmons his $360,000 game salary for missing Thursday night's game against the Pistons and plan on continuing fines until he cooperates with team physicians on his mental health along with partaking in other basketball-related obligations. Now, just a little bit, I told you guys off air, but he said that he wasn't ready to take on the basketball court, basically, in a game in a game. And because of he's not mentally ready.
Right.
Is exactly what he said. So the team tried to present him with the team physicians to help him. He turned that down. He refused it. So this is where it starts stemming from. So they started pumping money back into that escrow fund, his salary into an escrow fund, and it will be, basically, if you don't play, you lose it, type of thing. But go ahead.
I mean, for the most part, as it should be. I mean, if you don't play, there's a lot of other stuff that's gone on before this, and then finally he said he had some mental stuff going on. That's true, yes, definitely get it taken care of. But it just seems kind of funny that he had all this disgruntled issues pushed to the brink, and then he comes out and says this. So if it's true, get taken care of and get help. And then to refuse it is kind of weird. But, yeah, it's a business, ultimately, if you don't come to work, and do your job, what you're supposed to, and you don't get paid.
Especially if you're refusing the help that is trying to be presented to you.
Like, I would believe him more if he accepted the help and stuff like
absolutely.
that. But, I mean, I hate to say you don't believe somebody when they say they have some mental stuff going on, because that is, that's legit. It happens. And but just how it's played out all the way down the road, and then to refuse help that they offered you, not even you have to go get it by yourself, or on you. They present you an option, and you just simply refuse. So that makes me kind of question that answer he's giving.
Yeah, that's what I worry about too, is people starting to use that tactic, and the whole mental health thing starts to get watered down. And so I don't. God, that's frustrating. So like when you see guys like Calvin Ridley, right? He obviously legitimately had some shit going on, and he's like, I'm not able to play. I just can't do it.
Yep.
But up until this point, everything with Ben Simmons was just spite the team, right?
Yep.
It was they were talking shit, so fuck them. I'm not even gonna let them come and meet with me.
Yep.
Yeah, none of that. And then all of a sudden, he's like, I'm just not mentally able. Like, I just hope athletes are really careful when they start throwing that shit around.
Right, because there's people that are legitimately dealing with shit like that. Don't be sitting there flinging that around just to get yourself out of something, or because you're displeased with how, because your feelings got hurt. There's a difference between feelings and your mental health. There's two, believe it or not, there are two different things here.
Because it's not pay. We know that. He just signed that big ass deal. So it's not pay.
Right.
It's not money.
And he basically made it clear he just doesn't want to play with them. He said that many times before that.
Right.
So that's where this I'm with you. It sounds very fishy.
At this point, I'm almost, but at this point, I'm almost like, Philly, do something.
Yeah.
Just trade him. Just
peanuts.
cut him.
For peanuts.
Yeah, for whatever. At this point, get something and just trade him.
Yeah,
get it done.
This is what I'm starting to believe. Wasn't it that GM that said this could be a 4-year deal? Like, I'm starting to believe him. They're holding firm, man. Like, he might be fucking himself over, like, hardcore doing this right now.
Yeah.
See, NBA is a lot more different than the NFL. And what I mean by that is they were part of the process. You remember that. They were the process. They went through all that tanking to get these boys. To get Ben Simmons. They got they had one that ended up failing on them.
They had a slew of
Fulton,
like, top 5 picks, man.
Nerlens Noel.
Yep.
But 2 of them took, for the most part, Ben Simmons and then Joel Embiid, right? When Embiid's right and healthy. I'm not against them. I'm not just throwing them. You know, like, hey, if you don't want to play and you don't want to pay and you don't want to get paid, that's fine. We're not going to give you away for free. And you're not helping that situation. You're not even trying so that we can up the trade value and get rid and then trade you. Even if we get 1 first rounder or something, I don't think anyone's going to give them a first rounder.
At this point,
and nobody wants to trade a decent ass player or a good player on almost his same level or better for whatever's going on with him mentally. As in, like, his feelings, I should say. I shouldn't say mentally. I just said those are 2 different things, right? So but you still can't just give them away for free. You know, that like we all shamed the Browns on how they did this. Yep. And a 53-man starting or a 53-man roster in a locker room, you can subdue that. You can let that go. You let Ben Simmons go in this process for nothing at all. You on an NBA team that can set you back. You have to get something.
Yeah.
So I'm okay with him saying, you know what? If you want to squander your career, we have 4 years of this.
Yep.
Which ones? Because you're not getting paid this whole time, by the way.
Right.
And then you're going to waste your prime years. So
right now, teams are scared. Like, oh, this is what he's willing to go to, and he's not happy.
Yeah.
And it's not over pay; it's over who knows what.
Yeah.
So it's like,
yeah, I don't know if it's his agent that's advising him through this, but bro, this ain't the way.
This isn't. No. Go out there and pretend.
Yeah.
Pretend to be happy. Do whatever you got to do. Make yourself look good but you do it behind the scenes and you tell the GM, I still want to be traded. If you don't present a trade after I've been doing this for you to show you that I can be a team player for the trade part, then we can go that route. He hasn't done that, though.
Yeah, one of the most important things you learn as an adult is you never make a major decision based off emotions. No. Right?
You shouldn't.
You should not, because it does not turn out well. I feel like it's what he's doing. He's still butthurt about what the team said and the things that, went on from Rivers and all that. Like, you got to go make your money, dude. So you got to fake it for a while. Let him trade you. You can get the fuck out. This isn't the way.
Yeah.
You're hurting yourself.
Do it in spite of them if you have to.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
Even show them a 3-point shot, too. You know what I mean? This is what you could have had if you guys would have treated me right or something like that. Whatever the scenario. But Giants running back Saquon Barkley is back with the team after false positive COVID tests. Had 2 of them. But is still out versus the Raiders with an ankle injury. Yeah, just what it is.
He's sitting on the bench anyways. Whatever.
Yeah, regardless.
Yeah. 2 false in the same week?
Yes.
Yeah.
And then finally got a negative after they. And it was more than one player. I think it was like their safety too, McKinley or whatever.
So it can't be a false negative?
It can't be a false
Okay.
negative. It can be a false positive, though.
Okay.
I don't know if you know that. You should know that. Were you employed? Don't need to say it out loud. It's fine.
I prefer not to say it out loud.
That's okay. Saints to start Trevor Siemian over Taysom Hill at quarterback versus the Falcons, but Hill will play a role in the game after returning from concussion protocol.
Just let Kamara throw it. Whatever, direct snaps all game.
Yeah, Wildcat.
It is crazy, though. He took forever to get off that concussion protocol, man.
It did.
It's kind of funny how some guys seem to bounce back just fine and they clear and everything's great, but it's
Yeah, I wonder if. Okay, so I'm not going to poke at anything when it comes to a concussion because
Hold
that's
on.
serious.
I think he did have some at BYU. I think once you get it,
It's
there
Oh,
were
he had
some
some
worse.
earlier. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so early in his
Exactly.
college career. So I think once you get one and you start getting them, I think it's kind of a thing with him.
It's a thing, and then on top of that, I think it also extends it out even more. Like actually having to stay out. Regardless, maybe it's that. Maybe it's also that, hey, you picked Jameis Winston over me, so go ahead and ride with him. I'm going to go ahead and take my...
You see Jameis Winston, after they won that game or whatever,
Did he eat
tore
a
his
W?
ACL. He was
Still dancing.
he was not eating a W, but he was still dancing and getting it.
I seen that.
Yeah, where I was going was I think some teams just bullshit that concussion protocol and just let the guys play.
Yeah, oh yeah. Yep. You can't tell me that, what was it, Mahomes? Was that 2 games ago?
Oh, yeah.
3 games ago? Bounced off the goddamn ground. Head snapped, the whole works. Woozy, you could see it in his eyes. Had to be walked off, but he was still good to go back in. And then they pulled him out saying, oh, the game's already out of hand. So, come on.
Yeah. There's
Yeah.
definitely some teams doing that.
Oh, yeah. It's like, hey, tell him what he needs to say to pass this.
Yeah, sometimes they're like, what did they see on camera? Ah, fuck, yeah, he's stumbling. We got to pull him. We're
Yeah.
out,
New York Jets, Marcus May, out for the season with a torn Achilles tendon.
That was a shame. I was hoping he'd get traded at the deadline because he was doing them nothing, and he was on the tag, so.
Yeah, that makes
On
it
a
even
bad
worse.
team.
I forgot about that. That
Yep.
makes it even worse.
11 million or
So you were on a
something.
tag, and this is why players hate the tag right here.
Yep.
No security, and especially when the
I
Achilles.
was hoping the Cowboys actually would go get him because we needed a safety. The need was there. Obviously we've had some players step up, play a little better than what we thought they were, but
Achilles is tough. Yeah.
and they say most players don't even come back from that.
Yeah,
They
not
don't come
everybody's
back the
Kobe.
same way.
Not everybody's Kobe.
Not everyone's Kobe, but I mean, a lot of players just don't come back the same way. In
Yeah.
every sport. Former NBA All-Star point guard Darren Williams to box on the Jake Paul Tommy Fury undercard.
Whatever gets you
Trillers,
paid, man.
Triller's just paying people all kinds of stuff, man. Hey, Triller, hit me up. I'll eat a few more punches for some change.
Yeah, just a quick 50.
Just give me
No
50,000.
big deal.
That's all. I'll only take that. That's fine.
And yeah, that's all I got. Let's go ahead and get on to our mid-season awards, our shocks, our surprises, where we think it's gonna go.
Let's go.
One big one that we want to get to definitely is I would like to see what your thoughts are, like who's going to take off that's kind of sitting in the middle of the pack. Like for the rest of the season, they're going to go straight up, and a team that's going to go straight down. We'll go ahead and let's hear where your MVPs and stuff were.
Yeah, so my MVP, Stafford, balling out, doing his thing.
Yeah, you had Stafford. I said Mahomes. Who'd you have, Jimmer?
So my MVP, I had Patrick Mahomes. As my
Yeah.
dark horse MVP, I had Matthew Stafford.
So
Yeah.
that doesn't count.
Doesn't
Anyway.
count.
It counts now.
It counts
No,
now,
I
baby.
it doesn't
dark
mean I
horse
can't
is
switch
Dak.
that shit around.
Yeah, so
Yeah, see, your two aren't looking bad.
yeah, dude, I could totally see Dak if the Cowboys run away, man.
Yeah, he's going to get comeback player of the award, like shoe in for sure. Yeah, if I tell you, if the Cowboys roll and win a couple playoff games, I could see him sneaking in there.
Yeah, who do we got in the category right now? I mean, we got Kyler, Lamar, Stafford, obviously, Brady, maybe Rodgers until all this.
I think Rodgers is up there.
Yeah, I think Rodgers up
Okay.
there.
Derek Carr, right?
Derek Carr, Derrick Henry was the front runner for me until
He
that
was.
happened.
Agreed.
You know,
Yeah.
at least in my opinion. I think that's kind of where we're at, you know.
Where's it go? So I think those are the top. I mean, if we're talking outside quarterback, Cooper Kupp could be in there if he continues, right?
He could actually, and but do you give it to
yeah,
him?
but do you get it over his quarterback?
Over his
Yeah,
quarterback?
exactly,
quarterback? I don't
exactly.
think so. I don't think so.
My point is more like I think he's probably the only guy outside of quarterback right
So,
now.
Offensive player of the year.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yep. I
Yeah,
think so too.
I could see him getting offensive player of the
Agreed
year.
with that. Yeah.
So my MVP right now, for me, is literally it's a 2-horse race. God, it is tight. It is very tight. Like I like Brady, what he does too. He's been having a baller of a season. He's doing it in spite of minimal running game, and the defense has been shit, basically, right? Compared to what we thought it was going to be.
Yep.
I still think Derek Carr, as long as they keep rolling, Derek Carr and Matthew Stafford. Matthew Stafford has literally done nothing to lose an MVP vote from me from the start of the season till now. He's done exactly what we expected. I think he's borderline exceeded it because he's been on fire from the start of the season on. There was not much, lagging from learning the offense and shit like that and learning his players. He's firing like, hey, Detroit, if you would have done this, like got me some version of talent at some point.
I was going to say, yeah. All he needed, he was stat stuffing with nobodies over in Detroit, right?
No.
Bad team all around on both sides of the ball.
Yep.
And get him some playmakers and the defense. Hey, man, he's showing he's lighting it up, and that's what I seen, or that's what I thought would have happened at the beginning of the year, and that's what's happened so far.
Okay.
Yeah, I think a lot of it's going to come down to seeding and how the teams do.
Who did you even answer though?
Stafford, right?
You said Stafford. You're sticking with Stafford.
I'm sticking with Stafford.
Okay.
I think
Okay.
they
I thought
continue to
that's what
roll.
you said, yeah.
Okay.
I think they continue to roll up into the playoffs, and then in the NFC Championship game, they lose to the Cowboys.
No. Now you're acting a fool.
They definitely ain't losing
Now
to the
you're acting a fool.
Vikings.
First off, don't even worry about the Vikings because they're dead toast. My new favorite team has been my favorite team for like ever since they've been in LA is the Rams.
The Rams.
Oh,
So
Gonna be a
perfect.
Rams Bills
Yeah.
Super Bowl, baby.
yeah, me and Miles ride or die with them Rams. baby.
you're just saying that because you
Rams up.
hoodwinked him in that trade, so you
That
got
was
to
not a hoodwink.
you
This
got to
dude-
rub him on the back a little bit.
This dude is doing all right with it.
Yeah, I think the way it looks right now, at least, it depends on how the Raiders do. Because if Carr keeps them rolling and
Yeah.
say L.A. and Tampa kind of fall a little bit, he could do that because he's got less.
We think. Hold
He's
on.
got
We
less, right?
think he should, and we believe he should. Right.
Yeah.
I don't think the league loves him enough. And
No,
I mean,
they don't.
First off, they've hated him. They've hated him. Right.
I think I have even a little bit.
Yeah, and I mean, we
a
forget how
football
good he
fan.
really can because we're not really paying attention. He did check down King there for a year because of his broken neck the year before, and he got skittish, right, in his back and all that. My point is, the league does not like the Raiders. I don't see them letting
Especially
that
after
happen.
this year. Yeah.
especially
you.
this year too, because I mean, not Al Davis, but Mark Davis has even called out the league on this. He's like, "Why is it you guys seem like you're always fucking targeting us?"
Yeah.
You know, like especially when something's going good. Did we not do bad enough for so many years that we've paid our debt in some kind?
Yeah. I
know?
think Baltimore's
I
in
think
too tough of a
he should,
division.
though.
I think they won't win enough games for Lamar. I really think it comes down to Brady and Stafford. And if the only way Brady gets it is if they bump up in their number one seed and he continues to break the records that it looks like he's going to, I think he could edge Stafford out. With that said, I don't think that's going to happen. I think they'll slow down a little bit. I think Stafford does end up winning MVP.
I could see a point where Brady gets it just because of his age.
Oh, yeah, man.
That they look
Foe.
at that they look at the age.
And they love him, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they'll
They
always love
do.
him.
But I think as long as Stafford just keeps doing what he's doing, got to give it to him, right? Feel good story. You
Yeah.
leave Detroit, a city that you committed to and gave everything to.
Yeah. Gave
and
money
then-
back too, by the way.
Right,
Took care of his
exactly.
community too. So
Yep, exactly. Was a stand-up guy, just couldn't get the talent around you, and you leave, and not in an ugly way, and real classy about it, and then you're balling out here, and you show what you can do when you have talent. When a team puts talent around
well, yeah, definitely. I should say
you.
definitely yes, but more specifically on defense. He's had some pieces on offense. Not until later in his career did he have a decent offensive line, but by that point, Calvin Johnson was gone. So yes, that he hasn't had all the pieces at one time.
Right.
But the defense definitely has never been there, right?
Yep.
I mean, at the end of discussion, I mean, they just haven't had the defense either.
Yeah.
Now he does have that. He can make a mistake, and he still hasn't yet, really.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
He can make a mistake, and that defense will get that ball back for you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's
Yeah.
huge. That's huge for a quarterback to be able to have that. I mean,
Right. He's had some pieces, but stat stuffers. Kerryon Johnson, right? I think he rushed for 1,000 yards, and now he's what? Is he even in the league? I think he's on a practice squad.
Last
maybe?
time I knew he was with the Eagles. I don't know if he still is or not.
It's like he's had some offensive piece. Calvin Johnson, obviously stud, but it's like he's never had anything great on offense. Just
No,
some
they
people
just didn't
that
want to
had
piece
to
it
put up
together.
numbers because they were the only ones there.
Yep.
What? Who'd you have for offensive defensive player of the year?
So my offensive player of the
These are gonna be
year
bad.
was Dalvin Cook. He's gotten banged up though, so
He has.
his stats aren't horrible when he's
Yeah.
been in.
Yep.
His touchdowns are down this year, which was the most intriguing part to me. He only has two touchdowns.
They
and
throw to Thielen in the red zone.
Yep. So he hasn't getting those, and then the 2 games he missed, Alexander Madison did get touchdowns. So if you want to kind of, I'm not saying he gets those stats, but you can see what his season might have been had he not missed those already. But it don't matter. Not looking that sexy that easily. Like I'm actually on board with the Cooper Kupp one. I
agree.
usually give that to a skill position, not the quarterback, because the quarterback usually gets the MVP.
Yep.
My defense player of the year was Aaron Donald.
I don't know what he's doing, honestly.
He hasn't done much.
It seems like it's been a quiet year.
Yeah.
Maybe Von Miller coming over though will open it up definitely.
The team, and I would have to look him up. The team still leads the NFL in sacks, and that's before they got Von Miller. It was Minnesota before Minnesota just had a bad outing.
Got thumped by the Cowboys. Got it.
Thumped. Would
If
you like to reiterate
if
that?
you get beat by a backup
It doesn't
quarterback,
matter.
you got thumped.
It doesn't matter. Please reiterate that.
Backup quarterback, you got thumped.
It didn't. We didn't get thumped.
Would you like to say the score out
We
loud?
could say the score. Yeah.
Got beat.
Say-
That's
say-
all you
say
need
the
to
score
say.
out loud.
Doesn't matter. Got beat.
No.
Thumping
We got beat
from
by
a-
a shitty ass coach,
from
and
a
that's what we got
backup.
going on. We do have a bad coach going
No,
on.
you have a bad team.
No, the defense has been pretty damn good.
Not against
Recently.
the Cowboys.
They were against the Cowboys. They let 300 yards of checkdowns happen. That's about it.
I was gonna say you let a backup
didn't-
horrible quarterback who was on the practice squad throw for
You
300.
didn't run against us.
Don't matter. You let a backup practice squad quarterback
Hold on. Does
throw
that
for 300.
does that happen? Does that happen when the team is going? Do you also know what the
Dak would have thrown for like 700 on y'all.
Do you realize seriously the Vikings were one of what 10 or 12 on third down? So when you're not moving the chains, and you guys are coming out there, you're gonna have 300 yards when you fucking have that many goddamn attempts and cracks at it because we can't move the ball on offense for whatever reason.
Our defense is that good.
Your defense was not that good.
Defense balling
Kirk
out.
Cousins and Vegas took care of this.
The best pass of the day was your
Defense.
receiver that threw that.
Yo, by far.
That thing was such a dime.
Oh yeah, was
I
that
didn't see
Cedric?
that one.
That was
Yeah.
Cedric.
Yeah.
Wilson.
Yeah, oh yeah. It was a beautiful
it's
pass. It
fucking
was a
I
tight-ass
saw he
spiral.
had a
Yeah.
pass.
No, tight ass spiral. I'm like, who the fuck just threw
To
that?
CD, I think,
Yeah.
right?
Was it CD?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think so. What about you, Rio? Who'd you have?
Offensive player of the year. I did have Josh Allen. Seems like a down year for him as well.
Stats-wise, yeah.
He started picking it up recently, so that one's not off the table yet.
Yep.
Yeah. And defensive player of the year on a defense that we all thought would just manhandle teams, Chase Young. And he's been kind of quiet too. But like we said, that whole defense has just underperformed
Big time.
big
Yeah.
time. Yep.
Who you got now for those 2 spots?
Like I said, Cooper Kupp. I'm liking that.
Yep.
Their defensive player of the year. Trying to go through Trevon Diggs, man. If he keeps picking off passes, I like it. You know.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well,
I know
don't disagree with that.
I'm a Cowboys fan, but he has. I mean,
They're-
we talked
they're-
about
they're
him
gonna-
giving up yardage.
They're gonna give him, if they do, they give it to him because interceptions are the sexy stat. The real
Yeah.
stat of the day is that he has the most passing yards against him
Yeah.
in the NFL. So it's a boom or bust. So
Right.
let's calm down the general public. I'm not talking about you. The general public needs to calm down on the word shutdown corner because this man is not a shutdown
Yeah, I don't think
corner.
he's a shutdown corner.
He's an
still-
opportune ball hawk.
Yep.
Yep.
He used to be
Yeah.
a wide receiver, so I mean, I understand.
Right.
So.
Which I'm not saying he can't turn into a shutdown, a full blown
He's a
shutdown.
fucking rookie,
He-
man. Like,
yeah,
you know?
absolutely.
Yeah,
He shut down the
yeah.
Vikings receivers.
Actually, we threw all over him.
No, you didn't.
Yes, we did.
No.
Oh, yes, we did. Go back and look when
No
he was
way.
the closest one in coverage. Yes.
Yeah, he
I
didn't
thought he was
play
on
very
Justin
well.
Jefferson.
No, he wasn't on Justin Jefferson the whole time.
Okay.
And he got
That's
beat
what
on,
they were talking.
Yeah, no, he got beat a few times. And there was a missed touchdown up the gut when he was getting spanked on 1-2.
So
it was Kirk
they
Cousins,
didn't
though.
catch it.
It was Kirk Cousins though.
Kirk was
But regardless,
Yeah.
what I'm trying to get at is that if they give it to him, basically it will be off of interceptions, and what he has done interceptions wise is highly impressive.
Yep.
But he also, I see why, and the reason why I say that is I didn't know this before today or yesterday about the yards passing against him. Now I see why he keeps getting targeted. Okay, he may pick it off, but he also gives up a fuckload of yards behind him. So if you do get it past them, he's giving it up.
So
Because he jumps everything.
He's so aggressive.
He's trying to get everything.
But yeah, you can't count out the turnovers and put. You're pretty much putting points on the board because the Cowboys' offense is so good, right? So just getting the turnovers and creating them.
It's going to be a tough year for him if he doesn't win Defensive Player of the Year because he's not going to win Rookie of the Year. We'll talk about that when it comes
Micah
up.
Parsons.
No. So I had we'll get to that.
Go ahead.
I had Devante Adams for Offensive Player of the Year, who if Cooper Kupp slows down, there's still a possibility of that. But probably not. I think it's probably Cooper Kupp's season, to be honest with you. He's on pace to break all sorts of records.
How can you not after what he's doing?
Yeah.
I got an outside one on that.
Okay.
Jonathan Taylor. Jonathan Taylor's been rolling.
He's been tearing
lately.
it up, yeah.
So I'm just saying an outside shot of if Cooper slows down.
If he stays on this pace, he's going to dominate rushing since Henry's out. So,
Yeah, he's at 821 now. I mean, obviously still plenty behind Derrick Henry. So that's the reason why this dude should have been leading the MVP vote at the time. But
Right. Yep.
Yeah. Defensive Player of the Year, I had Myles Garrett, and I think he still has a shot to get it.
it's still a shot. He has 10.5 sacks. He leads the league. So you're not far off there.
Yeah, I mean, he's on pace for 21. I think he's got a shot. If the defense has been pretty stout, if they can lock things up a little tighter and win that division, I think he's got a real good shot. But then so I'll kick this one off. Rookie of the Year, I think most of us were on the same page with Justin Fields, right? Or Trey Lance. That's who I had. I had Justin Fields because I figured he'd play, and unfortunately, Matt Nagy's still there, so he hasn't done much. What I think is going to happen, and I think this probably is the consensus, but Jamar Chase is going to win Rookie of the Year by a mile.
Yeah.
That's why I threw that in at Diggs. If it wasn't for that,
he
should win. But, yeah, that's where I'm at.
Yeah, I think it's going to be quarterback, too. And I don't know what you got.
So what did I have for Rookie of the Year? I don't even know if I even marked her down there, big guy.
You really like Trey Lance, so I know.
I probably was
Jamar Chase is going to be high up
Jamar Chase can be hard to beat, right?
Yeah, 100%. Unless one of these,
barring
a quarterback going crazy
or an injury.
The only thing, in my opinion, when I'm looking at this, if the Patriots keep rolling with Mac Jones, that could be the quarterback that wins it.
It could be.
He's playing really well, and they're fucking smoking teams right now. So.
Fields could still come back in this. I don't see it happening. He showed a little bit of promise this last weekend. But I think it's so far, like Jamar Chase is so far ahead that this isn't really much in the ballpark, in my opinion. He's already breaking some records. So, at least in the form of how many games already into the league. I don't have any much different there. So my last to first were, and it's not looking it wasn't looking horrible to start the season.
Denver Broncos. Yeah, it's over though, so you can.
Yeah, we crossed that one off.
Yeah. Yep.
And then my first to last was the Pittsburgh Steelers. That one still has, in that division, that still has hope to do it. Yeah. We talked about that one.
We were on the same page there. I thought the Steelers could fall off, and I stayed in the same division. I said the Bengals potentially go from worst to first, loaded talent on the O-line if they could stay healthy and come back, and receiving core and stuff. And Joe Mixon, he's having a great year, turned it around. If he can stay healthy, I see that being a possibility, definitely. Especially with the Browns being disappointing again. Baltimore is going to be tough. That's a tough division anyways. Usually we talked about the betting lines. It's always like a 3-point game no matter what. But looking pretty good there.
Yeah. My Super Bowls, my Super Bowl participants.
Well, hold on.
Yeah, he's
The
got to.
fuck
He's
you
got to
talking
do
What are you
his.
doing? You over there playing around?
Last to first, I had Niners. And that's not looking good.
That's not looking good.
Not
You're
looking
with,
good at all. But I was with you on the Steelers. They made the most sense. I think that's still going to happen.
Yeah.
Even though they
edged
played
by
okay football.
they've edged by some
Yeah.
some limping teams.
Geno Smith had to fumble for them to win that game in Seattle.
Absolutely.
Or, well, I don't know where it was,
It-
but to
it was
beat
in Seattle. Yep.
To beat Seattle, he had to lose. Geno Smith had to win that game for them.
These last 3 games
Yeah.
have not been impressive by like the opponent and even how they've beaten them. It isn't like they're whooping up on these teams either. So
Yeah, and Big Ben is the biggest reason that they're not going to do shit.
yeah,
Right?
Yep.
Yep.
That and I don't think their defense is as good as we thought it was going to be. Like it was
All
kind
the-
of last
all
year.
the defenses are
All
way
the
down.
defenses are way down, and that's
But,
probably
yeah.
because all these new damn rule changes that happen every year to go ahead and make it easier and easier for people who are too afraid to tackle somebody.
Yep.
I mean, has this not been like all the NFL football you've watched? Has this not been the worst tackling you've ever seen?
Yeah.
I have. I mean, I've seen
yeah.
so many
It's
missed
been bad
tackles.
tackling. It's been and yeah, I think you're right. People are afraid to hit. I saw Michael Pittman's touchdown last night. The safety could have just come over and lit him up. Instead, had to kind of swipe for the ball, but because if he had lit him up, penalty.
Yeah,
Yeah, no, it was going to be probably a touchdown anyways. But like back in the old days,
He
you'd
would-
say
he
safety
would've-
float over and just
it would have
Kill
rocked
him.
him, and the
Yeah.
ball would not have stayed in his hands.
no, nope.
Not if you take an old school safety shot like
Yep.
that, because that's what would have happened. That's what
Exactly.
should have happened. That's
Yeah,
what-
like Palomalo or something like that,
Yeah,
right?
Ed
You were
Reed
yeah,
just-
Ed Reed,
Ed Reed-
exactly.
Taking him
Yeah.
out.
any one of those,
And
any one
that's
of
what
those
we're
guys,
scared
Sean
of these
Taylor,
days.
he would have
Yep.
killed somebody right there. Like you're gonna be that stupid. But now that you have so much of that going on. I watched my own team do it. I told you I was frustrated with Harry the Hitman on one.
There's so many passes just straight over the middle that
Yeah.
nobody's scared. You
Yeah,
know?
nobody's scared because nobody's allowed to. You're not allowed to go low to a certain extent.
Yeah.
You can't go high, and what's too high? The shoulder level.
Yeah, it's got to be
Because-
the perfect.
Because
you
if
know?
your helmet barely nicks the other helmet while you're going up high doing a shoulder shot, so you only have a small target to go ahead and hit. By the way, also keep your head up while you're doing that.
Right.
Yep.
You know, just so many things, and I think we're getting a lot of sloppy football because of it. We are damn near
Yeah.
close to flag football.
Yep.
Yes, sir.
That's what it feels like to me. But my Super Bowl picks, my NFC side, Dark Horse and regular are both shot. The Vikings and the Washington football team.
You fucking did say the Vikings, you piece of shit. That's what happened.
Yeah.
You don't say that out
Oh,
loud.
my
No, it's
goodness.
because it still has Kirk Cousins.
I
and-
told
and-
you they would not be good.
Hey, calm down. Season ain't over, but yes, it's over for them. Look,
See
but
my face right
but
now.
both
What?
of my AFC teams are still riding high: Buffalo Bills and Tennessee Titans.
Well, the Titans are not going to make the Super Bowl now, but the Bills are.
They
So-
could with AP, baby. They said he is bringing the juice at practice.
Bringing the juice. A
Bringing
little
the
different than when you
juice.
start getting hit at that age. All right, so Super Bowl winner, I had Bills. So shot, they're
Hmm.
doing their thing. And Dark Horse, Cowboys. And actually, that is not looking bad right now.
That's not looking bad either. No. And you had the Rams, though, right? Was your main one?
So that was my NFC winner. I had picked the Rams.
Yeah.
And then NFC winner, Dark Horse, Cowboys. But then Super Bowl, Bills, and Dark Horse, Cowboys. My AFC had the Bills winning that, and then Dark Horse was the Browns, which is not looking good.
Not looking good.
They've fallen apart.
Yeah, I've.
They're not officially done yet.
Not
though.
officially,
I mean,
but-
it doesn't feel like that it's very good there right now.
Yeah.
The vibe isn't very good.
Yeah, I had Rams. I don't know who I had. I think I had the Bucks for the Dark Horse, I guess. I don't know who I put for Dark Horse. But then Bills. So basically I predicted Rams, Bills, Super Bowl, which looks like that's still going to happen. I don't know who I had as Dark Horse for the AFC, but if I were to say Dark Horse, so if I'm changing it today, it's going to be the Colts.
Okay.
Not even-
because
Not
that
even the
has,
Titans?
that has to be Derrick Henry. That's the reason why you're saying that, right?
Yeah,
If Derrick
well,
Henry were still on the Titans today, like and not torn up, right? Would you be saying that same thing?
No, probably not.
Okay, that's what I'm asking.
Yeah,
Yep.
probably not. But so when I'm looking at the AFC, like talk about balanced teams, right? Defense, offense, run, pass, everything.
Mhm.
It's the Colts are the most balanced right now, right? In the Bills, they don't have as strong of a running game, but their offense and defense are so balanced. I I just think they're better than everybody. But I don't think Tennessee has a great defense, and Tannehill, they might just end up doing dog shit the rest of the year, man. I'm disappointed in that, but.
So I'm gonna just touch on a few things here when it comes to.
I don't know. Not sold.
Okay.
Speaking on that, the win versus the Jets, they lose at Titans, and that's
That was a close one division.
that was a close
Okay.
division, and we always say that
Yep.
always
Don't count.
whatever. But
Don't
then
count 'em.
a win over the 49ers, a win versus the Texans, not a good win. Not a good win. Lose to the Ravens, a win versus the Dolphins.
It took them a bit to get the wheels turning. They're playing really well right now. is my point.
Quick question. What was the score that Ravens won? Is that the one they were ahead and they let them get back?
31-25.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they were ahead in that game and gave it
By
away
a lot.
late.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Colts were
Yeah.
ahead. I'm not saying I disagree.
I'm just reading
I'm with
into
you.
the team.
No, I'm
Yeah,
with
totally.
you. I'm with you.
I will fully acknowledge that. Like the
You
beginning
know,
of the season, it took them a while to get the wheels turning. but
Their
they're playing
losses
well
are to
right now.
Titans, Ravens, Titans again, Rams, and Seahawks. Seahawks was game one.
Yep. I see.
But so I'm not there because they're
Who would your dark horse be
They're
then? That's
beating
all right.
crappy teams. Titans
Right
for
now.
the AFC. Yeah, absolutely.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Titans. I think they can sustain that lead, especially playing Colts, not very hard competition in the division.
we're talking just AFC, right?
Yep, that
Okay,
was just
okay.
AFC. So that's my dark horse for the AFC right now. It would be the Titans.
Okay.
It's going to come down really to if that freaking defense can play.
Yeah.
If they can do something with that defense, man. Because I think offensively they'll be okay.
Is that also where you're predicting that some version of their running backs, I'm not even talking about Adrian necessarily, but some version of the running backs will help keep that intact until Derrick Henry comes back?
Yep. I
Okay.
think they're going to be efficient enough, and then I think this stretch we start seeing that Julio and A.J. Brown, if they can stay on the field, I think we start seeing some of that more of that come to life.
Okay.
So
God, I just am.
and they're going to become right there. We're so run heavy, even with Julio and A.J. Brown before. I think this time that we're going to see them become so balanced.
I don't know. I don't have a lot of faith in Tannehill this year. When you've got that much room to operate because of Derrick Henry, and he's thrown one touchdown, I think, in the last 4 games.
You don't have to. You don't have to when you have Derrick Henry. So
just not sold.
So we're not going to put into place here that OBJ is on one of these teams either, right?
Right, not yet.
right, yeah,
Not yet. Not till we know.
Yeah.
So are we going to leave a little baby asterisk saying
Well,
that?
hold on. Let's be clear. Is he going to make somebody a Super Bowl contender? I don't know if that would change.
No, I
any
I
of
think
these
that would
teams.
help your argument is what I'm getting
Yeah.
at. If he
That-
went to
that
Indianapolis,
automatically upgrades
if he
the
went to
Colts.
Indy?
that's what I'm
Sure.
saying.
Right.
So
Yeah.
your argument to me would be that much better
I get
if
you.
he did go there too, because then you
I'm
have
just-
2 receivers.
I'm not
I
sold
get
on
you.
the Colts because they've beaten crappy teams. They've beaten the bottom. All they've beaten is the people in last place. So
get
that's why I'm not sold on them. And you let the Jets score how many points on you, who are not good.
So an interesting one, I'm not going to do it, but an interesting one would be the Raiders, because just in spite of the NFL, in spite of everyone's against them. They had their Gruden issues. They just had one of their star young receivers murder a young woman by going 156 miles an hour into the back of her vehicle. All of that, God, wouldn't that be a story?
That
like
would
you
be a
deal
story.
with all that.
I think they're playing above their
Above what-
talent
yes.
in their cap.
and I agree with you.
Kind of like we think about Green Bay. Great story though, absolutely.
If it
Great
did
story.
happen, I'm not putting it on that.
That's a fair dark horse, though.
My dark horse would actually be the Chargers.
Man, they just don't look good lately.
They're not
Yeah.
looking real good yet.
Defense
isn't
what we thought it'd be.
So we were talking about this off air. We were talking about teams that we think that are hanging in the middle right now that we believe will boom the rest of the season.
Yep.
I think the Chargers have a shot to do that. They need to get right, of course, and
Okay.
they haven't looked exactly great, and more specifically their defense. Right?
Yeah.
They get that shit going and showing what they did at the beginning of the season, then
So that's your AFC. Middle
That's
of the
my-
pack could make a run. What about NFC?
my NFC, I'm not going to say the Washington football team or the New York Giants, but I'm not hopping off the Giants quite yet for my – they're still technically mathematically alive in that 9 wins. My NFC dark horse, I don't even know if you can call them that, because The Rams are technically second in the division. That's not a dark horse, right?
No, it's not a dark horse.
No, okay.
There's only one legitimate dark horse in the NFC.
With the current situation with their being banged up and Saints with their
Well, my son just walked into the podcast, so if you heard him banging a door, that's what that was. So who's your dark horse then? Are you saying not the Saints?
no.
That's the only dark horse that I could see in the NFC.
They don't have a quarterback. So that would
maybe,
falter.
Yes. Carolina Panthers actually is a little intriguing if Christian McCaffrey can come, because what they were doing before that, I don't know what's up with that defense, right? It was so good, and all of a sudden it's just really bad. And the offense that was, scoring points and is not anymore. Christian fixed that.
I'm with that. I'm with you on that one. But he has to come back, and that hammy has to be straight.
Exactly, yeah, and that's what it's going to
That
ride down.
completely falls apart for me if Christian is not out there, okay? Because obviously Darnold has shown that he is not the same quarterback without Christian McCaffrey back there, at least the fear of Christian McCaffrey, right? That being said, I'm not going to say it. You know what? I'm not going to say it. Minnesota could, but I don't think it's going to happen. Technically, they're right there. They're 3-4 still.
We need to get you a drug test, dude.
I'm just saying they're right there. The rest of that division is not good outside of Green Bay, right?
Yeah, I see where you're going. If they play to their ability.
And technically, Green Bay isn't even favored when they play up in Minnesota. Their FPI rank is like only 49%. It's close to 50%, but regardless, if they got it right, maybe. I don't know. I think I'm gonna ride with what you just said. Because technically I can't say either the Cardinals or the Rams because they're not much of a dark horse, right? So I'm gonna ride with the Panthers also.
Yeah.
I don't think the Panthers have a shot, so I wouldn't say the Panthers. Even without a quarterback, I'm gonna go Saints or the dark horse on this one. They've got the best defense out of these teams, and they've got a great coach. I don't think they would win the Super Bowl necessarily, but they're the dark horse that I would pick to get further than expected.
Yeah, that's I can see that. I'm not sold on that quarterback play yet. They're definitely taking a downgrade there. So I'm still saying the Panthers. I don't know why that defense fell off so bad. Maybe it's because, with Christian McCaffrey and always moving the ball, you can kind of hold on to it a little more. But that's potentially one for me. For the AFC, not giving up yet. Come on, Browns, baby. Everybody gets healthy. That division beats up on each other, right? So keeping them kind of in it. Everybody gets healthy. They could climb back into it.
Yeah, I like the Browns. I think that's a good one. I think the Patriots are the dark horse in the AFC.
I think the real easy pick here is Kansas City, right? Because we know what that offense is capable of and what they could do.
Yeah.
So that's the easy pick. So I tried to stay away from that.
I'm gonna change my NFC pick quick.
Okay.
A team that I said that was gonna finish at the bottom. With everybody hanging, if you look at the standings right now, with everybody hanging around that 2-win to 4-win range.
Are you saying Seattle?
I am about to say Seattle, and they're getting their quarterback back too next week. Why not? Why everybody
that's way
else
better logic than Carolina. Carolina looks so bad everywhere right now. So
they are looking way bad. I think I'm gonna ride with Seattle. Experienced quarterback coming back. They're not out of this. Their defense is playing a little bit better compared to what they were, and you have one of the most experienced coaches in the NFL. So I think that gets forgotten quite a bit in professional football. Look what they're doing in New England with a rookie quarterback. They're at 4-4. I wasn't expecting to be 4-4 yet. Still at this point, I thought there'd be growing pains after whatever. So, yeah, you know what? I'm gonna make my man Michael Borney a happy man and say I could see the Seahawks as my dark horse.
Get out of here, Michael. You'll have a high draft pick.
This could go one of two ways. It's either going to go bad or it's going to be good. So
think about a storyline, though. Now I got myself thinking about this a little bit. Think about the money that could be made if it was a Patriots-Bucks Super Bowl.
Oh, man. Yeah, the NFL.
That ain't happening. The Patriots are not good.
No, the NFL loves their storylines. So I agree with you. But I think what they would rather I think they'd rather actually see the controversy of Las Vegas. And now that I said the other way, like the NFL doesn't like them.
Yeah.
Or the Rams, because bright, shiny new stadium too. You get that.
Yep.
You know, all the stars on that team right now, and then
You can make a lot of storylines, I guess. Yeah. I just was.
Or
yeah.
you know what? Yeah, Buffalo Bills, right? They've lost all those, haven't won one. They come in. Cowboys, they haven't won one. How long? Their fan base always gets that, right?
Isn't
You're still
that-
living in the past.
isn't it still about the same time frame that the one won a Super Bowl and last time the other one was at a Super Bowl, about the same time frame?
Yeah.
So
Well, the
I mean-
interesting stat I saw was the last time the Braves won a World Series, the Cowboys won a Super Bowl, and the last time, what was the other one?
Oh, I did see that.
The who won?
What was it?
Who won I'm brain farting right now. Who won the finals? Milwaukee. So the last time the Bucks
They did
won,
that. The Cowboys
won the Super Bowl.
I did. I saw
In the
that. That was
70s?
pretty funny.
yeah.
So
Well, it's about time that you can
Interesting.
actually witness something like that.
When was
Instead of
the last time the Vikings won a Super Bowl? Just kind
man, trying to give you a fucking.
just kind of.
trying to give
No,
you
I'm just
something
wondering.
here.
It's a sports show. I'm trying to talk about sports, man.
Hey,
When was that?
they won multiple NFL championships.
Yeah.
In
Isn't that what
Madden?
it's all about? Is a
Yeah,
championship?
NFL. You know, I'm sorry that the soft ass AFL hadn't joined yet. Not my problem.
Yeah.
That being said, I could go the rest of my life and not
Yeah.
see it. So,
Hey, I mean, we could.
but
go
I am
over
a
and
Baltimore
over.
Ravens fan, so I have seen two of those bad boys.
Hey, let's go.
There we go.
We could make tons of storylines, but
Who
whatever.
who do you think could drop off? Like, are there any pretenders up top that could just end up shitting the bed?
So
Vegas.
besides the Steelers, I think we were kind of all on board with that one, right? I mean, unless you've seen something that I haven't. Pretenders. Vegas, we keep waiting for the wheels to fall off. And then for me, it's going to be the Saints. I think the Saints are outperforming what they really are, especially without Jameis now.
Yeah, I could.
Because
see
they didn't
that
really
too.
have a receiving core anyways. Jameis made stuff kind of happen, and I don't think we gave enough. I definitely didn't. I shouldn't say you weren't, because you were dick riding him there for a minute.
That's exactly what they needed, man. They need somebody to chuck that fucking ball.
Yeah,
dude.
and that
At
is what
one
they
point,
needed.
he was
'cause
on pace for 70. What was it? 72 touchdowns. So,
Yeah, after
he's
game
fine.
one.
Game one. So you were 100% right in where he was on pace for. But that's what you needed, especially with no-name receivers. You needed a guy like that to compete, and your defense was decent enough, above decent.
Yeah, they have a good.
So,
defense.
but I think they're pretenders right now, especially going down to a Taysom Hill / Trevor Siemian. No receivers. You have no hope of Michael Thomas now. So unless OBJ goes there, I don't know. Alvin Kamara or bust, and they get and then if he gets banged up, there's nothing. That 5-2 is gonna dwindle away pretty quick.
Yeah, I'm going Las Vegas Raiders here. They've only scored 180 points. Their points differential is only plus 14. Not great. I think they're just playing kind of inspiring football. So I could see them definitely falling off. And then let me look at the NFC here. Yeah. I'm not sure, man.
They're only 7 points
you
less
know-
than the Baltimore Ravens, by the way.
Yeah, I don't know. I just don't think they're great.
I think New England's also one too. That 4-4
Maybe
is
the
a little-
Packers. I think I think they played well above.
I'm with you on that,
what
and that's
they are.
and that's not necessarily just because I'm a Packer hater.
Right.
This is literally
You're
what
a
I'm
Vikings
watching.
fan.
This is literally held together by Aaron Rodgers.
It is.
Goes with that. That defense is not good. I'm not saying they're horrible. I'm just
Right.
saying they're not good. They're not a if Aaron is off type of game, a defense that can
Right.
get you a game or steal a game or something like that. So it's Aaron Rodgers or bust. I'm with you on that one.
Yeah, I mean, because I look at their schedule, and yes, they
But
beat the
unfortunately-
Cardinals.
But unfortunately, they play in a division that is the only one worse than that is the NFC East right now. So, I mean, they have to compete with the Vikings, who are a head case right now, the Bears, who have Matt Nagy, not worried about that, and then lowly-ass Lions.
And so here's the thing, too. I mean, yes, they beat the Cardinals. For some reason, Cardinals look weird that game. But
Yeah.
they don't have a great win. I mean, Besides Cardinals, you can make a statement for the Bengals. So there's 2. But look at Washington, not good. Bears,
but
not great.
But they beat the Bengals. Didn't they beat the Bengals kind of like not last second,
25-22.
Yeah, so
Cardinals 24-21.
So they literally just flip-flopped what Minnesota did. Minnesota lost by a field goal against the Bengals.
Their 2 good wins are by 6 points. So then they get blown out by the Saints. They beat the Lions, who are bad. They beat the 49ers, who are bad. They beat the Steelers, who are not good. Bengals, like I said, won by 3. They beat the Bears, who are bad. They beat Washington, who are bad. So there's 5 wins against bad teams that are not good.
Yep.
So and your 2 wins that you can say against our playoff pushing teams are by 6 points.
Yeah.
Which every win counts. So, which I usually will argue for a positive that way. But I'm with you. It seems like the ball has kind of fallen their way, like bounced their way in certain aspects. I don't think that holds up. So
yeah, and who knows what happens after Aaron just had that interview too. Maybe it ruffles some things. Who knows? So I get your logic there.
And their schedule, I mean, Chiefs, that game, no A-Rod, so we'll see what happens. Seahawks might not, so I won't even count those. Vikings, division games I always count no matter who the opponent is. It's going to be tough because it's a division game, right?
Yep.
So I always say that's going to be a tough game. Rams, obviously going to be a tough game. Bears going to be whatever. They're going to play the Ravens. That's going to be a tough game. Browns, don't really know, but then you have Vikings and then the Lions. So I want to say they at least have 4 tough games, potentially 5 if the Browns get healthy. Yep. So we're going to see if this is real or not.
Yeah. The 2 for me are out of the AFC, it's the Tennessee Titans. I think they're going to fall off quite a bit. And obviously the Steelers is there, but you mentioned that. They won't do they won't perform to their record the rest of the year, I don't think. The thing that saves them is their coaching, and Najee's a stud. But ultimately in the AFC, it's Tennessee. Derrick Henry made that thing go, and Tannehill is not going to be able to do much. They can't turn into a passing team. That's not their identity.
They still get him back, though.
He's not after, like, in the playoffs, potentially, if they make it, right?
I thought it wasn't it 6 to 10?
Yeah, it's 6 to 10, so it's going to be
towards the end of the regular season.
Right.
But
yeah. So Tennessee's going to fall off, and it's the Arizona Cardinals. They were playing above, like you just said, above their, talent, if you will. They could have easily lost to Jacksonville early in the season, and they came back and won. They barely beat Cincy, right? They just beat a fucking team that had every other guy.
And lost to Green Bay.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. So I think their record does not show the team that they are. They're going to fall off quite a bit, and the Rams are just going to tear away with that division. But so Rams and Titans are my 2 picks to fall off.
Okay. I see either one of them. So none of us are on board with Houston running the table.
The rest of the way, no. You're playing for the drafting quarterback.
So where does that go? Let's talk about that for a minute. There is a lot of rough play going on right now. The 2 clear bottom feeders so far have looked like what? The Texans and Jaguars.
Yeah.
You have Detroit, which is pretty damn bad too. And then you have the Dolphins. I think the Dolphins are probably the most.
They're the best out of
They're the best out of all those.
They're the best out of all those, or Jags maybe.
Yeah, it's probably.
I mean, talent. I mean, are they about the same? Because they have Tua, and then what else do they really have? They don't have a run game. The receivers are all banged up, except for they do have one. Waddle is playing pretty damn good, but their defense isn't what it was.
Devante's been banged up though.
He is actually. He just got put on. I didn't put that in my notes. He got put on the 3-week IR today.
So he's been hurt, and I think if he could just stay on the field, he'd be a special talent. But
So the chase for the number 1 overall pick, who you got?
It's Houston.
I got Texans, and I think if you are them, you go for a quarterback. You are tanking. You are trying. You want that guy. You're in a trade Deshaun, right?
I have 2 questions for you, just based off what you just said. Mm-hmm. Number 1, that means you think that they're gonna. For the number 1 pick, they're going to beat out Detroit. Where does Detroit get a win?
Yeah. I'd have to look at Detroit's schedule
because
here.
Houston has a win. So
yeah.
Well, they just traded their best running back, and they pissed off their best receiver. I think they're only going to They've won one game.
I
don't know how to say this, but they're only gonna be worse the rest of the year.
Yeah, but you need
Bears.
Detroit. You need Detroit to get a win.
Bears.
Bears. Falcons, maybe.
I could see either one of those.
Maybe it depends on where
That's
it's
probably
at.
the only
Yeah.
two.
Some freakish shit, maybe.
Mhm.
Yep, I got you. Okay.
But if I'm them, I'm taking.
But you're picking Texans.
Yep.
The second part of my question is, and actually more of a statement is, I do not think this is the year you chase a quarterback. There is not great
there's
talent
nothing.
in it.
So here's the thing, though. I agree.
Yep.
But I think we talked about this before. What does the NFL and everything do? In the draft do. We sexify quarterbacks, right?
Yep.
Everything. Okay. Oh, look at all these. Everything going on here. Oh yeah. Okay. All right. And we just hype this guy up, and this turns out not good. And
If they are smart, and that's where they're going to set themselves back, in my opinion, if they go after a quarterback that there isn't really one that is like, okay, this guy I can build around. I think you actually go the other route. I think you
Oregon
trade
defensive end.
you trade either do that or trade back and pick up some picks and try to get into next year's another first round
They
pick for
tried.
next year.
Deshaun tried to boot him out and get picks, but
Well, no, I mean,
trade back from this year's draft. Right.
Well, I meant actually more specifically. Well, they can too. I guess I was wrapping my mind around Detroit, but either way, I think in either one of their situations, because they have problems.
Yeah.
Houston doesn't have the picks because they traded them all away to try to do this, that, and the other with Deshaun. And then the Lions, because I think those are the two clear-cut favorites for the number one pick, right?
Yeah. I think so. Here's the thing: what the Lions do, I think. You still take a quarterback because I think this is a perfect situation to have a guy sit. You have Jared Goff, who's not anything crazy, but he's been a serviceable NFL quarterback, and he can sit and kind of learn the game while you just have Goff. I don't know what his contract looks like, but if he's got a year or so, let him play that year. Let your rookie sit behind him and just kind of learn and pick up the game and go from there.
Yeah, it's tough because both of those teams need a quarterback really bad.
Yeah.
So
and I think they're going to go that way unless they fall in love with Oregon's defensive end, which, I mean, he's a stud, so I can see him going one.
Yeah. I know that's what they would do. I get that. It is the wrong move, and that's the reason why they're consistently at the bottom of the barrel.
But I do
you don't like your boy Kyle Pickett?
I do, but I don't think
Not
he's
a
number one overall pick.
No.
You know, like realistically, if we're valuing guys, that's either you trade back into the first round and get him and pick up other picks.
Right, and we can say that sitting here, but you're looking at potential franchise-changing movements, so they're going to just...
They get all kinds of pressure, too, so they have to do a sexy pick, too. Like, hold on, you need to do something to arouse the fan base, too.
And then we, for some reason, we still take combine seriously and throwing in no pressure in our face, and we're hitting this long throws with nobody rushing.
What are those called? The underwear Olympics?
Yeah, it's like, who cares if he can throw a ball, snapping a guy, tossing it. A guy is tossing it to him, and
with
then
no
a receiver's
pressure.
Running down with no
so dumb.
Nobody bumping him. And it's just like, it is so dumb. Can we get over this? People having these open workouts and hyping them up.
Yeah, I agree. I'm more of an eye test guy. What you can
do on film in a game. That's
pads.
what matters.
You know what? This sounds crazy as shit, and he didn't work out. Don't get me wrong, fully, but most of that was his partying for the most part. But you know where I'm going.
Jamarcus?
No. Johnny Manziel.
Oh,
do you remember when he did his?
Yes.
He did his in pads, and what was his explanation? He said, I don't play a game without pads on, so why wouldn't you want to see me throw with the pads on?
Yep. The smartest move, Mr. Jerry Jones, as it was probably his son, like telling his dad he had to go to the bathroom again and then made the pick or something. But smartest move they ever did was not taking him. So.
Because
they said his son talked him out of it.
Yep.
They took
He
Zach
was
Martin.
obsessed with him.
He was.
Yeah, the only thing I still want to see, though, is the 40. I still enjoy watching motherfuckers run 4.3.
I do.
Or those 300-pound linemen running a 5.1 or something. You're
or
just
less.
Like, what just happened?
Or less. What was the boy that went like full?
Was he 4?
Well, I think that's a stat you have to know. But for me to know if you can throw a 40-yard pass to no pads
definitely.
and a receiver who's not getting touched
and
by
no pressure.
any coverage with no pressure on me, that doesn't show me anything.
No. Yep, totally agree.
I see your.
I can have high school quarterbers in Midwest Iowa do that can hit a receiver with no pressure.
Yeah, this Pagel kid can here at Garner can do that.
Yeah,
he can toss the ball 50 yards. So who cares?
Yep.
Yeah.
No. I totally.
I'm
agree
with you
that.
on that one.
Yeah, I think. What else could there? Because I don't even know if the benching 225 for so many reps, I don't even know if that matters. Maybe for linemen.
One that I'm big on is actually, especially when it comes to a running back and linebackers, is a 3-cone drill. When you're showing
speed, agility, and
the
explosion,
change of direction.
Yep.
And
yeah,
that one
stuff
means
that matters.
Yeah,
there's absolutely stuff that matters and stuff that doesn't.
Yep.
But
you know, like vertical.
He looks good throwing
I'm
that
still
football.
with it, vertical, because we're passing more than ever. Can he go up and get the ball? You know, get it away from people. Absolutely, whatever. But for us to keep on, and everybody tunes in right to the throwing sessions and all this kind of crap, and it just boggles my mind.
All the pro
We're
days
just doing that. Yeah,
in the pro days, everything's a goddamn big deal.
Yeah.
Over scripted 50 plays.
Yeah, it just blows
Scripted
my
50,
mind.
no pressure, 2 your receivers that you already know.
Right. Who aren't getting any coverage on them.
Right.
You know, it should be more of a, I mean, it's almost like they should come together and them call the defensive plays, and you have your routes, and you see if you can make the right call.
I'm actually all for it. I know it's been a discussion in the past about them moving up the NFL draft. Like moving it up so that that people don't get over psyched out of just drafting off of impulse and watching instead of all this over, like what you're saying, all the over fluff and watching this, that, and the other, and you're actually just not looking at the game tape. What did you put on? What did you put on
it's
tape?
like what would any of the combine besides
Hey,
a couple things? What would it change?
I do have something I just seen. I don't know. We didn't touch it. Lions waived Tyrell Williams with an injury settlement. He was projected to be their number one receiver, got hurt, has been just out all year, and they finally reached an injury settlement with him.
I didn't see that.
Yeah,
Damn.
I just saw that.
I don't know. That
You
one's
missed
kind of intriguing, but he hasn't been.
It's intriguing for me because he was signed to be the number one.
Yeah.
So that's why I was.
Yep. No, I'm not saying it's not. It's just.
Well, yeah, nothing about Detroit's intriguing.
I was going to say that one seals the deal that they're the number one overall pick. My number one overall pick is going to be, long story short, is Detroit. I don't see them getting a victory. If they do, it's going to be something really stupid. It'll only be one. So you better hope the Texans don't slip into another one because they also face Jacksonville again. And I don't know how it breaks down after that. Like I think it goes by strength of schedule is what it goes by. If like there's 3 teams with 1 win, you know what I mean? It goes by strength of schedule, I think, like who had the least hardest gets the number 1 pick. Because that shows how much worse you are. So I still have Detroit in that one. I mean, especially if the NFC North keeps playing out like this.
Yeah,
too,
I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, especially after the drubbing they just got from fucking Philly of all teams.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, a team that doesn't run the ball ran all over them.
Yeah.
Right. Anything else you want to touch on this crazy, weird NFL season outside of massive amount of injuries? And I'm not even talking about COVID.
Yeah.
I think at our fantasy football draft party, that was one of the things I brought up. I was like, man, I feel like we're going to get hit with a lot of COVID things, so it's going to be weird. And actually, no, it's been the injuries that have been
legit,
going crazy and not COVID.
And basically everything from the waist down.
Yeah, it's
A
always
high
been-
majority, I should say.
Yeah.
A high majority of this has been waist down. Hasn't even been a mass amount of concussions. That probably goes to where people don't fucking tackle anymore.
Yeah.
How many concussion protocols have you really seen? Like, especially the stars, because nobody hits each other. You know?
Yeah.
You know, so a lot of this stuff is lower extremities.
Yeah, it's a lot of knee stuff, ankle stuff.
Knee, ankle,
a little bit
feet.
of ribs, but not, nothing crazy, I don't
The
think.
Gronk's been out since week 3? With the ribs?
The ribs, yeah, he's been out.
Or like he played week 3, maybe he's been out since week 4. I can't remember.
Yeah, I don't know. He balled out for me a few weeks in fantasy.
All right. Well, that's pretty much going to wrap up everything. So we'll move into our wonderful segment. We're patent pending here.
Yeah.
Makes sense if you don't think about it.
This
Before I kick it over to you, just an update for those of you listening to the last one that I did. The purple bike outside the gas station was not the gentleman that I was talking about with the half gal of Hawkeye vodka. So somebody pick your bike up. Just a shout out there.
Right. Definitely, like you said though, the more I look at it, it's a girl's bike, but it's definitely a boy riding it.
Yeah, 100%.
Right.
That seat is as high up as it could be.
And the handlebars are tilted forward a little bit.
Yep.
I don't know if you guys remember that as kids.
It's a big boy.
I didn't do it that much. I thought it was stupid. And like, why would I want to lean for my handlebars? But
Yeah.
either way. Also, when we were kids, we used to peg each other all over town.
Used to what?
Peg. jump on the back of pegs on the
All right,
bicycle.
I just
Not like that what you want, big guy.
Jesus.
What's on your mind?
It's like, man, this is not
For the
3
love
gigs
of
after
God.
dark.
This is not 3 gigs
Yeah.
after dark, man. We have not reached that segment.
First off, where's your mind? I know
Oh
you know
my
what
God.
fucking pegging is on a bike.
Yeah, I just
Bullshit.
Well, he knows what.
maybe
Bullshit.
a little
Do I need to call
uncomfortable
Marv
there.
right now? I guarantee you guys used to peg
Hold
each
on.
other.
Let's
in
call
a
Sam in here.
non-sexual way.
Let's call
Yeah.
your wife in here. See the heck's going on.
Oh man.
All right, so we are, just so everyone knows, we are looking for a sponsor for this segment also, as long as everything else too. But here we go. Makes sense if you don't think about it. My wonderful ex-boss,
Miss him.
miss him, R.I.P. When it comes to you having that position, you have a different position now. So where I work, there's a blender.
Easy on the work. I
Yeah, for
also
anyone-
show up
for
there
any
with
one of
him,
us.
and
Yeah, you show up half the time. That being said, we have a big ass blender there. Takes product or takes liquid, puts it onto a dry product, mixes it together. This thing is big. There's lids on the top of this thing. Bolted on these lids, there's 4 of them, I think, on there. 4.
yeah, too many.
And
But
they're pretty fucking heavy, are they not?
Oh yeah, big
Oh.
metal
We're talking.
lids.
I bet you every bit of what 200.
200. Took
At
me and
least.
you to lift. that
And
one that
it
day.
was not comfortable, right?
Yeah.
And especially that end one. That end one's definitely over 200
Yeah.
minimum. Either way, these things, there's nowhere for you to stand around this area to take these bad boys off, and they are clearly above your head. Okay, and I'm about 6 foot tall, even with the reach. Chris, you're 5'10", right? So
Yeah.
we're talking about 5'10". We could barely reach these to even push them off like this. So I put in what is called a work order to try to get a hoist and some eye hooks put on these, so that you can safely hook it up, chain hoist it up a little bit, bring it out of the way, lower it down so that people aren't cranking on their bodies, their backs. This whole works. This thing is heavy and awkward and not safe.
That
There-
seems sensible.
Right.
Yeah.
Nowhere to stand outside of
Yeah.
one side, maybe.
Right. Great for a guy with the shoulder surgery, right?
Right. Sitting there putting this in and get crucified the next day. Because I put in there that it was a safety one. It's unsafe. Not only, so I don't get crucified over the phone, I get called into this man's office. Door closed. There might have been one of those cardboard pieces in front of the window because we can't just get shades on there. We just got to let you know that I'm about to enter one of my employees' rear ends. And I was in there quite a bit. Probably just like the principal's office.
Is it?
When I think about it.
Are we talking about pegging still, or
Print-
what are we-
Don't worry about it.
Principal never did that to me.
It was definitely light cases of sodomy for sure. That being said, he's in there. He's like, "So what's it? What do you mean safety?" I'm like, "How are they not? They're extremely heavy. They're awkward. There's nowhere for you to stand." He's like, "What?" He's like, "There's no way they're unsafe." So I went down there not that long ago and did them with one other guy or 2 other guys, whatever it was. And we did just fine. Are you telling me I did it unsafe? I'm like, well, because he was defensive and he raised his voice level up. It wasn't yelling yet. We'll get to that. But he's like, are you saying that I did it unsafe? I'm like, well, since you're putting it like that, yeah, because there's no way you can do it safely. So technically, yes, you did it unsafe. Well, no, that's fucking no. Oh, okay, so that's how we're gonna play. So this light bulb above my head right here, if that goes out and I think that it's and you think it's unsafe to go up a ladder, we just leave the light out. We leave the light bulb out. I'm like, Jesus Christ, that's where and he cuts me off. He's like, you know what? Just because James thinks it's unsafe doesn't mean it's unsafe. I'm like, isn't that quite literally what safety is? Is like how
Right.
someone perceives or feels that something is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And especially in that instance, you've been there, you know what I'm talking about. I'm like, I didn't think it'd be this big an argument. I didn't think it would even be, or I didn't even think it'd be that. I thought we're sitting there trying to improve processes, and no, it turned into a big old blow up. I'm like, are you fucking shitting me right now? Well, James, just because fucking we do it, blah, 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 you could do it. I'm like, you cannot do it safely. Are you fucking shitting me right now? Called literally anybody down that's ever done that, except for one ex-operator, now maintenance guy, because he'll sit there and make it seem like it's no big deal.
He was just trying to say that he was stronger than you. He wanted you to say
Oh,
that he was stronger than him.
And I should have. I should have said, hey, no, you get it, big guy. And for context, this guy is like 5'7". Little man syndrome, look like a motherfucker. That being said, regardless, moral of the story, just because you think it's unsafe does not mean it's unsafe. Makes sense if you don't think about it.
Jesus. So did the shit get put on to make it
eventually? Actually, just this last year.
Yeah.
And that was 3-4 years ago when I put that in.
Good God.
Only because we got a safety person that actually came in.
Right. It was like, that's unsafe.
Yeah, they watched us taking them off. She's like, what are you guys doing?
Yeah.
I'm like, taking them off like we always did? Whoa, no. And then what helps seal the deal is another operator. Love this guy to death. One of my favorite guys. Mike Hoover.
Shout out Hoovy.
Sweet, innocent, kind of older guy. Has a little crab ass about him every so often, but he crawls over the top of it. No harness, no anything. To get to the bolts on the other side, the one side has nothing that you can. It's open floor, and it's up in the air.
Yeah, of course, and it's slanted, so you can just
And it's
slide
slanted. You
off
can
right down
slide
to the
off.
floor.
Oh,
And she's like, what are you doing? This is how we've always done it. She's like, ooh, I need you to. And she was pretty cool about it.
Should
She's
have
like,
hit her
hey,
with the just because you think it's
yeah,
unsafe.
just because. And I told her that. Believe that came out. That one was my passion project.
Yeah.
So all those lines were getting dropped. I'm like, just because you think it's unsafe doesn't mean it's unsafe. That's at least what I was told. But she finally seen that. She's like, no, we're definitely doing something about that. She had this other idea. Evidently, it cost too much money. And then they just put up my original plan where they put a fucking I-beam up and put a hoist on it. Put eye hooks on the goddamn lids.
Easy shit. Yeah.
Awesome.
Jesus.
So, yeah, just complete stupidity. So many arguments that didn't need to be an argument. It wasn't even... I bet you over 75% of them weren't like dick measuring contest ones. They were innocent, and then they got turned into that.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not saying some of them I wasn't poking. Don't get me wrong.
He just wanted you to tell him that he was stronger than you.
Hey, Mike, you're way stronger than me. Oh, shit. Did I say a name?
Oh, man. Shout out, Mike.
No doubt. Right on, boys. Well, good shit tonight. Thanks, everybody, for listening. And Brittany will message you here in a little bit. Figure out a way to get you your tickets. Hopefully we can get a picture with you, too. Stuff like that. You're going to have a good time at the fights there, November 27th, North Iowa Fights.
I encourage everybody to go, too.
Definitely check it out.
It'll be a good time.
Just after Thanksgiving, it'll be a good time. Mike's a good guy.
So, absolutely. Hey, remember, if you got to make sense if you don't think about it, throw it in the DMs at us.
Throw them in there.
And, we'll pull one out of the hat every now and then and throw it on here as well.
That includes, Will.i.am. I think he brought one up to me, but, dude, my memory is not anywhere what it used to be. Just put it into words, and then we'll go ahead and put it out there, even without your name if you need it be.
Yep. Hit us up on all the socials, TikTok, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Reach out, like, follow, share, please. That'd be greatly appreciated.
Do it all. Podcast is available everywhere you find your podcast. Apple, Spotify, even the old Facebook.
Get it.
We'll see you next time. For now, this is 3 Gig Sports.
We out.